Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a great match here today. Two incredibly high level bots or AIs. In the top left, we have got MicroMachine, the one, the only, the face of bot games in the StarCraft 2 community for so long. And then taking on MicroMachine is an incredible Zerg bot. It is Caninana. And part of the reason why I'm excited to cast this is I feel like these bots are always the favorites in their games, unless they're playing against Eris. And it's like, I don't always cast a game that it's like one of these really good bots against another one of these really good bots, so I can genuinely say I do not know which bot is going to win here. I just know that it's going to be an impressive match as far as the levels of these bots. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too much further into this video, make sure to go ahead, leave a comment down below that says more bots if you want to see more of these bots. You can help out with the YouTube bot, the YouTube algorithm, as comments really help out there. And of course, it lets me know that you want to see more bots. And then, if you guys do enjoy this content, slap that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not. This is pretty much the channel, I think we can safely say, for StarCraft 2 bots. And yeah, consider becoming a YouTube member if you do want to support the channel. Also, there's been a few people asking, like, how can I play against these bots? Where are these bots from? You guys, a great way to, if you do want to play against these bots, you can search ESChamp how to play against pro bots. And it should be one of the first links on Google. And then there's just a program you can set up that can let you play against these, at least some of these incredible bots. I think there's like 5 available, 5 or 6. Of these great bots, and I've done videos on them in the past, and I probably will do videos of me playing against these bots in the future. As far as the builds go between these two bots, no crazy macro from either of them. MicroMachine playing it pretty safe, so is Caninana. MicroMachine going for a one-base factory star fort, all the while Caninana just going for its earlier hatchery, going into a roach warren. But I believe, knowing Caninana, this is fairly passive for the most part. That Overlord of the Zerg did die. It got scouting information off, but then it perished. All the while, this Reaper's being a pain. We can tell by a couple of bruised drones. Reaper still microing away, chasing down this Ling. Getting a little bit of damage, and that is one of the things about MicroMachine. Its units are almost always in attack mode. At least its mobile ones, and they just never retreat. They're always being controlled. It's ridiculous. So if this Reaper manages to stay alive, it will keep on microing and attacking however long this game goes. Now, MicroMachine making a Banshee. It's got out a Hellion now. Cloak is on the way for the Banshee, and the Banshees and MicroMachine are incredible as well. So we'll see whether Caninana is going to be able to muster the defense it needs against this kind of bullying that MicroMachine is doing. The Reaper's now coming on in here. Going to be attempted to be surrounded by these Zerglings. However, the Reaper doing a great job kiting, also using its grenades. A lot of extra programming has to have gone in there as far as deciding the logic for that. Lings are constantly trying to surround this Reaper, but they cannot get it, and Ling speed is quite a ways away. We've got roaches out now. They've got a little bit of range, but they're slow, so still this Reaper has yet to be caught, and this is one of the things that makes MicroMachine so crazy entertaining to watch. It's like we could literally just ignore every other aspect of the game and watch this Reaper. Now, we've got a Cyclone on the way for MicroMachine, another unit that it micros incredibly well. A Banshee is now moving towards the main base. There's no spores just yet. No detection, as a matter of fact. So, Caninana kind of cutting some corners. And MicroMachine may get a lot of rewards for that. We'll see how fast Caninana reacts once it sees the Banshee, whether it tosses up spores right away, that kind of thing. There is the detection. MicroMachine saying stop hiding insect. Apparently Caninana's answer to this is just to burrow. It does attempt to start a spore. The problem is the Banshee does force the cancel on it, and we'll see just how much redundancy Caninana has. It looks like the answer is not enough, unfortunately. No drones or anything have died, seeing as how Caninana's answer is just to burrow everything. MicroMachine's kind of poking out with the rest of its units. Caninana's constantly scouting with these lings. A lot of mining time is being lost by this cloaked Banshee. As Drone tried to build a spore crawler, MicroMachine targeted it down, and Caninana doesn't quite have that redundancy in which if the spore gets canceled, it tries to build another one right away. We'll see if it does build another one eventually, maybe when these drones are unburrowed. For now, though, we're seeing a lot of damage be dealt by this Banshee, mainly in lost mining. MicroMachine was stepping up to try and get some damage done. However, upon seeing what its opponent has, it does retreat, saying 17 ally supply versus 16 enemy supply. Not far off as far as the numbers goes. Of course, that is one of my favorite things about MicroMachine, how we can see in the chat just how the bot author goes about programming. Like, when does my bot attack? Well, it's kind of like counting cards. What you see, you can kind of infer what you should do. And so MicroMachine saying relaunch offensive, 24 supply versus 18 enemy. I wonder if that's just supply on the map as far as what is MicroMachine's planning on attacking, or whether that is just like what's already out for MicroMachine, because of course Terran keeps supply caught up in units that are being built. We've got this Banshee still being a pain, however Overseers are out now, able to chase this away. All in all, Caninana didn't lose too much to the Banshee, but it lost a lot of mining time. A lot of mining time. It's also making an absurd number of queens, apparently taking a page out of Queenbot's book with 12 queens soon to be. That is ridiculous. I wonder if we'll see a Nidus or anything like that potentially to utilize those, because otherwise that is just so many queens. I wonder if that's just a response to the Banshee. That's how Caninana likes to handle that. And it does have an odd number of queens at each base. It's got just about 4 at every base. There's 12 out now, so let's see, 4 there. 5 here. Okay, so they're not quite evenly spread 4 to a base, but it is splitting them up to keep them defensive. Whether that's intentional or just a side effect of the unit positioning is unknown. We see Banshees coming into the main base now, being a pain once more. Overseers are coming in. This will allow the Banshees to be shot at. To get close to going down that one, however, Overseer speed is now done, but the queens, they do not get any faster, so the Banshee able to stay alive. While this is going on, we've got MicroMachine macroing up like a beast ahead of the Zergon workers. That is really darn good. So that harassment really was effective. Even though not too much direct damage has been done, the economic damage has been huge. This has allowed MicroMachine just to power up. And powering up it is. It's got stim on the way, hyperflight rotors, making a lot of siege tanks. And Caninana really doesn't have all that much going for it. It's got 10 queens, but it's been constantly harassed by these Banshees. It's made a lot of Zerglings, but I don't know how useful they're going to be. Caninana really is just making a lot of units, whereas MicroMachine is going hard on the economy, now making 2 Banshees at a time. Aspire is on the way for Caninana, so that's a good source of anti-air. Of course, Mutas can chase the Banshees quite well. I believe Hyperflight Rotor Banshees are slightly faster than Mutas. Or they're at least faster than the Overseers, not the Mutas themselves, pardon me. We've got a Fusion Core on the way for MicroMachine. We'll see if it potentially makes a battle cruiser or not. All the while, a 4th being started for Caninana. So we've had some harassment in this game, but not too much. Not too many direct engagements. The roaches and lings for Caninana are dancing. I like the roach skin, by the way. Or at least the color. Caninana's creep spread is definitely lacking for a bot that's got 12 queens. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's practically ignoring it. And that is one of the things that I can't quite understand what the requirements are here for Caninana. Like, it's got creep tumors, it's got unlimited APM. Why has it not tried to spread those yet? We've got MicroMachine saying planning on harassing with air units. That's my strategy. Well, I think it's more of a reaction to your aggression there, MicroMachine. We will see if a Corruptor or something does get assigned to these Banshees to keep them away, as they constantly keep harassing Caninana. Caninana got a Spore up at the 4th base. Can potentially start saturating that. A battle cruiser's on the way now for MicroMachine, so a lot of anti-air will be needed for the Zerg bot. MicroMachine is approaching maxed out as well, 183 to supply to 163, and its army I think is definitely better, unless there's some major miss micro, because man does MicroMachine have a lot of tanks, a lot of defensive units. We hear a scan go down, I'm not quite sure where that is. Looks like the roaches for Caninana are going in, trying to catch MicroMachine off guard. They eat siege tank shots and immediately fan out to minimize the damage to get away to heal up. And this is spurring MicroMachine actually to get aggressive, saying relaunch offensive. The supplies are wildly off, but that doesn't really matter too much. MicroMachine does cancel its offensive there, though, and that really is what Caninana needs. Caninana does not have the army. It needs more supply. It needs a better economy to be able to trade with MicroMachine, and this is the ridiculous thing about MicroMachine. We see a Banshee or multiple Banshees harassing every base. Caninana has made one Corruptor to try and chase these down, but it's definitely taken its time. We also see the Terran just incredibly powerful at this point with battle cruisers, with just so much stuff. And Caninana is on just about 5 bases, but then again, so is MicroMachine with the 5th building on location. It's still doing its funny gas mining that it always does. And this Terran army is all of a sudden on the doorstep of the Zerg, and Caninana's economy was just hampered so much by that Banshee, it hasn't been able to build up as fast as it could. If MicroMachine gave it another minute or so, I'd say there's a chance, but things are looking mighty bleak for the Zerg bot right now. And MicroMachine is just doing so well with its Banshee harassment. In fact, I believe I've played against MicroMachine, and its Banshee harassment is just so darn good. Even as a human player, not that humans are necessarily better than bots, but it's really apparent when you try and deal with this harassment. Queen's trying to engage the battle cruiser. It's just not happening. There's just not enough for Caninana. MicroMachine's tank line, very cinematic, takes out that hatchery, and there is no way the Blue Zerg is going to win this one. So MicroMachine really showing us why it's the number 2 bot, basically, even after quite a bit of time without updates. Quite a massive amount of time without updates, I'll say. And so Caninana will fall. MicroMachine takes this one as all the bases start to get taken. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this one, hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Leave a comment saying more bots if you want to see more of these bots. I'll definitely keep on casting them. As yeah, that is gonna be that. The autocannons, just everything here for MicroMachine, and I do wonder if there's a scenario that Caninana defends MicroMachine's initial Banshee better, and then maybe it is able to have a much closer game. So if you want to see a rematch between these two, let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.